Today, I'm going to review a new product in the miniature hobby world. What's up, everybody? I am Impendingduff. Thank you for checking out the video. I know it's been a minute since I did a video. I had a little bit of a shake up here during the holidays, etc. My wife and I both had contracted COVID through her office. So we were dealing with that, plus the renovation here. I believe this is my first video in the new studio space, so still the same studio room, but I've created a giant mega desk. If you watch the stream, you'll remember, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But I am working on a video that will chronicle kind of all the way back to the start of the pandemic when I started renovating this room. So keep an eye on that in the future. But today we are here about a new product out on the market. It may seem like it's just an X-acto knife. It may seem like it's a gimmick, but I'm here to tell you it is not. That product is called the Flashmaster.
Master.
And it is a very, very cool new blade. It's, upon first look, an X-acto blade, right? Everybody sees it. I see the comments on social media. It's just an X-acto blade. What's the big deal? You'll see clearly in the following footage here, it is not an X-acto. It is literally the exact opposite of an X-acto. I feel like I've said exact quite a bit in the last 2 minutes here. But anyway, they're a great product. I think it's going to kind of take a little bit of a learning curve for those of us who work predominantly in the harder plastics of Games Workshop world. But watch the video. This is literally my very first no edits whatsoever type of approach to reviewing this product. I say no edits. There's obviously going to be edits in the video because this is YouTube and we have to make it pretty, but it's literally no edit in the sense that I am literally pulling it out of the package for the very first time, putting it into my hobby knife and giving it a go. So you guys can see the struggles that you can expect and the learning curve that I kind of feel this product is going to need. But once you get past that, in my opinion, quick learning curve, you will find that this product is going to make your life a lot easier as far as model cleanup goes. All right, so let's get into this. Flashmasters was gracious enough to send me over some samples of their razor blades. I hesitate to call them X-acto blades because they are not in any way, shape, or form similar to a X-acto blade. They may look very similar, but in function, they are not. All of us in the hobby have purchased mass amounts of size 11 X-acto blades. They're all pretty much the same thing. These I purchased on Amazon for like $10 for 1,000, something like that. But you can see right away the size difference is considerable. The shape is considerably different. It's similar, but it's backwards, I guess. But there's also no tang. This is called the tang portion of a blade. There's no tang to it. The other thing is you'll notice how thin they are. I mean, obscenely thin. I don't know if you can even see it when I turn it profile, but you can definitely see the X-acto blade. So, what makes this marketably different than this? What has he done to reinvent the wheel? Well, here's my standard hobby knife. You know, everybody's used to it. And here's the thing. When I try to bend this, and I gotta be careful because that happens. Then I have another one set up here. The Flashmaster in another X-acto handle. And here's the big difference, kids. This thing is meant to bend. It is insanely flexible. It's super thin. I can, in fact, I don't even know if you can hear that right now, but it is super, super flexible to a point. It will kink if you go ham on it and go full 90 degrees, but unlike a x-acto blade, it is very, very flexible. These x-acto blades, like I said, I bought them on Amazon. They're relatively cheap. They're actually not the best, and I'm not a big fan of them in the first place. But even up against decent x-acto blades, this thing has far superior flexibility, and that is where the nature of the blade comes in handiness, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so I wanted to mention that I had to get a special x-acto handle for this product. My normal blade the holder was too big. Like the slot where the actual blade goes in did not clamp tight enough for the blade. So there is one downfall to these, that they may not fit in every type of x-acto handle. Now, luckily, I was able to get this one on Amazon for like $4. It's just a cheapy little x-acto brand handle. This thing winced down, but here's the problem: is I wrenched it down with a pair of pliers to get it to close enough to hold this blade. So the thinness is both a benefit and a hindrance, in my opinion, as far as getting it into the handle. Now, the owner probably has suggestions for better handles. These are just what I know, what I use in the miniatures hobby. So I'm sure he can give me suggestions. Maybe I can put them in the link down below for you all as far as handles go. But in my opinion, something as trivial as it not fitting in the handle I had on hand is not going to stop me from buying a product like this. I'm not a petty person. If I find a product that is going to kind of make things easier for me in the long run, I don't care if I have to spend $5-10 to get another piece to make it work for me. It's not that big of a deal, and I'm not petty about stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and use it real quick here, and this is literally my first time using it. And I'm going to bring it closer to the camera, see if it'll focus, if you can see that mold line or not. There it is. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot for the very first time. So I'm not going to gouge with it, because I have the feeling that this thing is going to, and it is. It's smooth like butter. You could easily gouge. I just gouged. And that's probably my fault for not knowing. There we go. That's the money spot right there. So I'm kind of putting a little bit of flex onto it. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay. I can see how this is going to be. You might need to kind of practice a little bit with it. It's insanely sharp. Holy crap. I've never worked with a blade that's this sharp in my life. So using the flex of the blade, I'm going to kind of just lightly scrape. Now you can't use the backside to scrape with this, really. I mean, you can a little bit, but it's not going to be like your standard x-acto blade where you can flip it on edge and really crank away at it. Okay, so yeah, I think I got it. Now, I think the advantage here for us as miniature painters is that instead of using a standard knife, turning it on edge, and going to town from the back of it, like so, I think the advantage to this is that in one fell swoop, once you get the hang of it, and that's the key word there, is once you get the hang of it, you can essentially just cruise right down the mold line with this. Now let's see how it does with a gate. I use God hand nippers, so I have very light gates as it is. But let's see what it does with a gate. Not bad. Not bad at all. I think this tool has some potential for us, honestly. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm kind of slightly bending it, so it's almost parallel, and I'm using it like, I'm going to relate my
my outdoorsmanship. This is kind of like a fillet knife, how I would use a fillet knife.
So here's one of the advertisements of the product, which is what kind of intrigued me about it. Was literally the advertisement was that you can shave the letters off of a sprue. And they're right. I just did that. I mean, I literally just filleted this W off of the sprue. I don't know if you can see that. I literally just filleted that W off the sprue. And if you've seen a sprue, you know how thin they are. So, definitely going to take some practice, some getting to know it. But I think this could be a very useful tool for us. Look at that. I'm plowing right through these letters right now. But here, see that? I just gouged. You got to be careful with this thing. So I think it's going to take some serious getting used to. But look at that's like butter. All right, so there it was. That's my first take on the Flashmaster. Literally taking it out of the package, never using it before, not doing a damn thing with it, and literally showing you guys firsthand my experience with it. You can see at the beginning it was a little bit dicey trying to get used to the sharpness of the blade, the precision of that blade, but once you kind of work with it, maybe all of 10 minutes it took me, you can really get a nice kind of like flow to it, and it's really kind of oddly satisfying, if you will, when you pull that knife across a very faint mold line and it just slices off. And the fact that you can literally like cut the numbers off of a sprue, it has such detail and such precision. I think it's really going to be beneficial to those of you with the patience. That's the key word there, is patience, to be able to get to know this tool. It is not your run-of-the-mill hobby knife type application. A lot of us will take a regular X-acto knife and turn it to its back side, its non-sharp side, if you will, and then scrape the mold lines. The problem I have with that is you run the risk of gouging your model. Depending on what faction, whatever effect you're going for, that's all well and good. But for me, something like Space Marines or Imperial Guard, Custodes, whatever you're doing that's supposed to be clean and regal, you don't want a bunch of pits and gouges and whatnot into your model. So maybe you avoid using that. The benefit of the Flashmaster, in my opinion, is time saving, precision, and one of the best things that I wasn't able to show you on video because I was actually at a friend's house when I was doing this, but I paint Death Guard. Death Guard has a lot of those kind of tubes with the ribs on them, the undulating surfaces on the tubing, right? That Flashmaster is able to kind of like carve in and out of that detail, follow that detail. I have not found a product that can follow that detail. And I know we've all dealt with it. There's nothing you can do. If you don't have a background in mold making, then you probably don't understand how a mold is made. But there's literally no way to avoid a mold line going down one of those ribbed tubes, if you will. So I finally found something that I can clean up those mold lines on those textures. I may not do that for an entire army, but if I'm doing a competition piece or I'm doing a character model for the centerpiece of my army, I'm going to pay attention to those details. And instead of getting out my rifle files and basically filing in very geometrical shapes to it, I can follow a contour a lot easier. That's invaluable to me when it comes to detail. So I really do enjoy this product. Some of the negatives that come along with this, and this is my complete naivety. I am not, as my buddy Kenny would say, a metal scientist. The price is quite up there. These things clock in at about $1 a piece. You can get a 10-pack for $9.90 on flashmasterhobby.com. And though that's not an exorbitant amount of money to spend on a product like this, in my opinion, some of you might turn your noses up to that. I know, for instance, Monument Hobbies, one of my sponsors, just released their hobby knife, and you can get a 5-pack of blades, replacement blades for the new hobby knife for $2.50. However, the difference is that is an X-acto blade, where the Flashmaster should not be compared with an X-acto blade because of the flexibility, the precision, and I generally think that because of the thinness of the Flashmaster, that creates a more sharp product, I guess, would be the term that I would like to use there. But I think when you try them out for yourself, you will realize that the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. There are not many negatives that go along with this. Again, the negatives for me are the learning curve. We all know how to use an X-acto knife. We don't know how to use a very flexible blade. I think I might have an advantage as a hunting and fishing type guy, and I do a lot of fish filleting, and I'm a former chef, so I'm used to that kind of flexibility of the blade. I can use that to my advantage, but some of you may find that as a hindrance. So that the cost is a little up there, but again, specialty products, so I don't know. We'll just have to give them a little bit of carte blanche, if you will. Really, those are the only negatives. I don't have any other negatives to say about the product. I think vastly this product is much better suited for those of you who are interested in doing the detail work to make your models look that extra step cleaner, if you will. But I definitely feel that this product will be something that you all will enjoy should you give it a chance. And I do encourage you to give it a chance. If you do decide to give it a chance, then let me know down below in the comments, or maybe you've used it already. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll discuss it. If you're in the Discord, tell me that you use it, or tell me that you were interested in using it, and if my video encouraged you to give it a shot or not. I'm really interested to know if product review videos are something that you guys take value from or enjoy. With that being said, appreciate you coming back to the channel, watching the video, and considering the product. This is not in any way, shape, or form a paid advertisement. Me and the owner had talked previously and decided that he wanted to send me some samples to try out, and out of the kindness of his heart, he sent those to me, and so I felt I would repay the favor with a video on what I thought of the product. If you enjoyed the video, or you enjoyed any of my other videos, do me a favor, hit that like button down below, subscribe, and leave me a comment. It'll help appease the algorithm gods, if you will. But I am nearing the 1,000 subscriber mark, and I could really use that extra push, so I appreciate you. If you're interested, check out my Patreon. I am a full-time content creator, and those of you who are patrons on the channel, thank you very much. You guys literally help me do this as a full-time income and help me to continue to grow and continue to do things like remodeling my hobby space and creating a beautiful computer that I can keep cranking out content for all of you. So thank you very much for the support, and I'll leave the link down below. Also, I stream 3 nights a week on Twitch, so if you're interested in checking that out, check me out. Same name, Impendingduff on Twitch. And bring your hobby questions while I'm live. I'm more than happy to answer any questions while I'm live, give you a tutorial, whatever. Don't think that you're bothering me when you ask a question when I'm live. Even if I'm working on something, I'm more than happy to stop, talk to you, and show you an example how to achieve whatever it is you're asking. So I hope to see you there, and thank you very much for watching the video. Until next time, take care.